Hi, welcome to Before and Aftermath.
That was really good.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're on.
We've done this a number of times now, so I think I can probably predict this will be our most watched video just because it is Star Wars. That's right. So we are going to see Star Wars: The Last Jedi. But not only Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but Kim got us a special arrangement. We are going to see the double feature. So we are off to see Star Wars Episode 7 and then Star Wars Episode 8 back to back.
It's really weird being here during the daylight.
I know. It's if you look behind, it's
Look,
actually right because it's like 2
us.
o'clock in the afternoon because of how long we're with it. We're gonna have to experience like 6 hours of Star Wars or something.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be awesome. So I've gone out of my way, and I think you have too, to not spoil anything. I already know too much.
I know very little.
I know very little, but it's still too much.
The Spoilers Cantina has been active the last couple of days with people I think who've gotten to see it early.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm trying to stay away from the internet and all things.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, meh, meh, meh. And I'm like, let people enjoy things. I don't want to know.
Right. Let's talk next week. Let's just talk about it next week.
I can talk about it for hours next week, but right now, no.
Right? No.
What we know
and
is...
we'll talk about what we know, and then we'll see how wrong we are at the end of the thing.
What we know is Carrie Fisher's gonna die.
Yeah.
And I'm
well,
gonna cry.
I don't think so. See, I don't think Leia's going to die or be killed. I don't think she's going to. No, I don't think she's going to die or be killed. I say at the end of the movie, she is still alive. That is my prediction.
She's gonna die.
You want to go by character since we're talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's see. So Finn looks like he wakes up out of his coma, and I saw an action figure. This is how spoilers happen in 2017 of him in an
I've
Imperial
stayed away
outfit.
from the toy aisles.
Right.
I've stayed away from all the toy aisles.
I saw a figure of Finn in Imperial garb. So I believe he sneaks into an Imperial base at some point for something.
With what's her name?
With Rose.
Rose. I was going to call her
So,
Kelly,
I know
and
nothing
that's
about
not
Rose.
her character's
No,
name.
I know. She's so adorable.
Oh,
I
she's
love
a
her so
precious
much.
cinnamon roll. She
love
needs
her
to be
so much.
protected at all costs.
So I don't know what her story is at all, except that he brings her along, I guess, as a technical expert because I think she's a mechanic of some sort.
Yeah, but he makes that uniform look
I'm
good.
wondering if we see that there's in the trailers there's shots of Finn's explosion happening and Finn's X-wing getting destroyed. So I'm wondering if he gets captured, or maybe they have to rescue him because
Finn?
I can't. Yeah.
You're talking more spoilers than I even know.
Oh, really? I didn't even know
that.
This is just the trailer. I'm just
I saw
talking about
his.
the trailer.
No, I saw his health pod. He wakes up in his health pod.
Yeah. Or maybe Poe gets captured.
I swear to God.
But because at one point we see. Okay, so let's Rey. So Rey, we'll start out.
Off on a planet.
Yeah, meeting with
Dagobah.
hanging out with Irish Dagobah. They shot in Ireland. That's why. They actually my family went there, and so I actually have a shirt that shows it. Yeah, that shows. I can't remember Skellig or something. I'll put it here. They actually shot there, and so they visited the place where they shot, and there's a picture of like Jedi, and then there's penguins around or puffins because that's the puffins hang out on that island and stuff.
Puffins not porgs. Is that why they?
Puffins not porgs.
Is that where they got
Hashtag
the inspiration?
Puffins not porgs.
Is that where they got the inspiration for the porgs? Because the porgs look kind of like a puffin.
I think it very well could be. So she's there training with Luke, and then somehow she's going to get back in the fight, and then at one point in that trailer, she looks like she's being tortured. So I can't imagine they would have her be captured again.
I think she's going to turn herself in.
Finn have to rescue her again.
I think she's going to turn herself in.
Okay.
I think something, probably for Poe or for Finn.
Oh, okay, like an exchange.
Yeah, an exchange. Probably turn herself in.
I'm thinking Poe's going to be captured. Hostage Poe.
Dang it, come on. He is not a damsel in distress.
I think he's going to be a damsel in distress in this movie. I'm thinking so. I don't know what Luke's journey is going to be. I think there's a better chance of Luke dying at the end of this movie than there is of Leia dying, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, if everyone's main complaint is that they follow the original trilogy so much that
was my main complaint of 7.
I mean, but if you follow that, then Luke should have died in Episode 7, not having a lightsaber handed to him.
Yeah, true. But I still want to have the mentor thing. I mean, he's filling the Obi-Wan role.
He's filling Obi-Wan / Yoda. How many riddles do you think he's going to speak in?
Oh, yeah. My girl Phasma.
Oh, Phasma.
Okay, this is the other. Okay, so this is the other thing that annoys me about this
Did they not put
stuff.
her in the trash compactor?
They did put her in the trash compactor. There's if you go by expanded canon, we're huge Star Wars nerds, so we read the books, we read the comics, we do all that stuff.
There's an Ahsoka sticker that they can see.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's perfect framing. Look at that. She did escape from the trash. She did get put in the trash compactor, escaped from the trash compactor, and then she spends one of her comic series hunting down the people that knew that she escaped from the trash compactor and killing them to make sure that no one ever finds out what happened to her. And is that not badass? And her novel, Phasma's origin story, is
I was thinking about
really,
reading it.
really
I just
cool
haven't
too.
yet because I didn't want to spoil too much. Right?
It's fine because it's all previous stuff. So it all leads up to it ends. Well, I haven't got to the end yet. I have a couple chapters left, but the way.
Spoiler alert: she survives.
She survives. Yeah, that it ends with her sort of joining the First Order. So it's not really that much of us because it's before we ever meet her. But regardless, but yeah. Oh, Kylo Ren. Oh, I love Kylo Ren. He's awesome.
By the way, the Star Wars experience with him was hilarious.
Oh, isn't
we
that great?
did that the last time we went.
That was one of the best things at Disneyland and probably Disney World too. At Disneyland.
He got mad.
Oh, I'll bet. Because we did the same thing. We went in and he ended up my wife and I. So he ended up going after and interrogating her. I was just like standing off to the side, like sort of watching and shooting stuff with my camera.
TJ totally sold me out. TJ sold me out to Kylo Ren.
She was being interrogated by Kylo Ren. It was awesome.
I feel like we should post our pictures from that.
Oh, if we have it,
yeah.
If I get them, I'll put them in here. If not, then I'll just edit this part out.
Yeah.
But you got to go and you got interrogated by him?
Yeah, I got interrogated and he was asking who was working for the
Resistance.
The Resistance.
Yeah.
And TJ's like, she is. I'm like, you sold me out. And I'm standing there X-Wing. I think Leia's gonna die.
Okay.
I think that since Poe is one of her trusted guys, he's gonna end up taking over her role.
Oh, okay.
I really think it's heading that way, and I think maybe that's how they're going to portray it in 9, since she's not going to be there because they're not going to CGI her.
Right.
And so that's why I think the only logical explanation is for her to die, unfortunately. And I don't want that to happen because she is goddess divine.
Right.
And
so 7, Han dies. 8, Leia dies. 9, Luke dies.
But I don't think it's going to be
Chewie
at the hands
lives forever
and just takes a lot of Zoloft.
Yeah.
I don't think that Kylo's going to be the one to kill her.
His hair.
Yeah, I don't think Kylo's going to be the one to kill her. And I think it's going to be some sort of an action from Snoke, and I think that's what's going to cause Kylo and Rey to team up. And I know
my theory, and Kim talked a little bit about this too, is that they're both going to get pissed off at their mentors. Like that Rey is going to get pissed off that Luke doesn't want to train her.
In action.
Kylo is going to get pissed off at Snoke for something, probably for torturing Rey. Killing his mom is a great
And then when he catches him torturing Rey, that's where it's going to throw him over the edge.
Yeah, and the two of them together then will be like, screw those guys, let's figure this out ourselves and head off.
F this, I'm out.
Right. So, are you a Rian Johnson fan?
What else has he done?
He's done Brick, which is one of my favorite movies.
Haven't seen it.
He did Looper, which is one of my least favorite movies.
Haven't seen it.
So I guess you would say no, you're not a Rian Johnson fan.
I don't know enough. I know enough of watching him in interviews that he's also a precious cinnamon roll.
I agree.
And he's adorable and really cares. And so I think that's really going to shine.
Look up the story that Kumail Nanjiani told about meeting him on the red carpet. I'm not going to try and recap it here, but we can talk about Star Wars all day, and chances are we're going to have a lot to talk about the other side of it. But we are going to go watch our double feature now, and then I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad we did this.
And then there's a weird edit coming, and we'll see you probably about 4 hours from now. And then, so we'll see you on the other side. Bye!
Bye.
Hi, so it's like 4 hours later.
It is
5
now
hours
almost
later?
9:00 p.m. and we were here in the parking lot at 2:30.
Yeah, right. So it's been like 6 hours later. Yeah. And we just got out of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and holy crap.
Holy crap.
Holy crap. I gotta say, I think that was okay. So we'll talk about favorites at some point, but let's just take Star Wars New Hope.
This is gonna be a long show.
Chances are, we got a lot of stuff to say. So chances are, let's take Star Wars New Hope is the godfather of all of them. Like what it is. So let's take that out of the running for best Star Wars movies because that is the best one because there wouldn't be any other ones without it. Okay.
Accurate.
then so outside that one, the best Star Wars movie is Star Wars The Last Jedi, because it was everything I wanted in a Star Wars movie.
Thank you, Ryan.
So
Thank you, Ryan.
let's talk a little bit about Episode 7, because we just watched Episode 7 right before that.
And we caught things that we hadn't noticed before.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I've watched it a ton.
I was I was so glad we did this, so thank you. I was very, very glad we did this. Having it right back to back like that was the best thing to do.
Brilliant.
And you can, and you very much, you can see the difference between the directors and that kind of stuff.
But I didn't mind it.
The problem with 7 a little bit is that it was a little bit too respectful and too homage-y. There was a lot of stuff that was like clearly just, this is what people want in a Star Wars movie, so I'm going to put it in it. And to its detriment, I think. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was great, like Finn, let's say, it totally sort of new with it. Poe, even as a hotshot pilot, was a sort of total new invention. But all the stuff
Sorry,
they
I'm laughing
did,
about all the digs they made on Poe in this movie.
but all the rest of the stuff just seemed to be like Kylo came across as Darth Vader light, Rey was the Mary Sue, she could do everything.
Yeah, I feel like Kylo was teenage Darth Vader. Yeah, like that was if Anakin hadn't had Obi-Wan to kind of guide him. Yeah, that is absolutely who Anakin would have been throughout the Clone Wars. I
think he was. Absolutely. I think Kylo was great. I think JJ's the best thing about Force Awakens is the casting. JJ was fantastic in every single person that he picked for those roles. It's just some of it didn't really pull together as well, because it becomes more obvious when you see something like Last Jedi, because everything worked and everyone got to be a real fully developed character. They had their pluses, their minuses. That wasn't Rey did not end up being the one who could do anything, knew everything, the best at all the abilities.
I do like how she gets hurt during battles too. Yeah. She's not infallible, which is important to me. And she
tries to get Luke to train her and fails, really. Like, it doesn't really get him on her side. And then like Luke,
shoots a hole in the wall.
She runs off to go do what she thinks is best, and it doesn't end up working out the way she thought. Yeah. Exactly. And then
you did mess up, Ron.
And it got to the end, and sort of like we've already had the big Jedi confrontation between the two of them and Snoke, and then it was like, oh yeah, we have a whole other battle to go.
There's there's more. I was thinking
45 minutes or so. It was like,
wow, we haven't been to Crate yet.
Right?
Wow.
You see the thing that we haven't got to the planet, the planet. So yeah, so obviously we're into spoiler territory here. Yeah. But so yeah, I was right about Leia. She lived.
Yeah, but I was also right about her because they kind of killed her.
They did kind of kill her. That's true. They did kill her.
I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong.
They killed her. They killed her pretty early in, and she.
I couldn't believe it was that early. I cannot believe that's why.
It was like, oh, it was.
I literally went like this.
I wasn't even upset because it was sort of like, oh, it just happened so fast. It was, this is how they're doing it. Okay. Oh, all right.
I was upset. I was mad.
Yeah. So and I say when they showed her
corpse
dead body floating in space. I guess you can go, oh no, don't
not
do
okay.
that.
No, I said not okay.
Don't do that.
Not okay with this.
And then all of a sudden the eyes open and she uses the Force and brings herself back, and yeah, that was pretty epic.
But it was in universe funny.
They were character funny and situation funny, not just like a joke about Star Wars.
Because even in war you have some levity, and I think that's really important to bring across. Like, I know we are kind of making a political statement. There was definitely a couple of times where we are making some statements. And
yeah, absolutely. Especially on, when I see that, this is the problem. I don't know the names of all the new
Casino
places
Planet?
yet. The Casino Planet.
Casino Royale. Really, that's what I'm going to call it.
Because we liked Rose right from the start, and then fell in love with Rose on the Casino Planet because they brought some class stuff up, which they hadn't before. Oh, Rose. Haldo was a great character. Like, Laura Dern obviously is a great actress, but they gave her a lot of stuff too because you didn't know what it was. They thought she was sort of like a stick in the mud, and then you kind of thought she was a traitor for a little bit, and then it turns out she was executing the plan perfectly all along, and then ends up being a super badass hero. Man,
personal beef though.
That her sacrifice was so awesome.
Oh, it was so awesome. But personal beef, I definitely see a lot of myself in Poe Dameron. I'm not gonna lie about it. In more ways than one. But my thing is that I was a little pissed off because you can't keep your people in the dark. I understand that there's a plan, and I understand that but someone like that, he would have been on board for that. He would have been until the mutiny, but
yeah,
until the mutiny.
Just what's mutiny among friends?
what's a little mutiny among friends?
They came with the plan of like having to get off the ship and get the MacGuffin so that they could bring it back to the ship to get onto the enemy, and that Poe wasn't involved. Like his job was stay put. Like stay on the ship.
Go back to your post.
Right. Stay like, not to fly
miserable.
them out to the casino planet or to do any of the heist. Like it was
miserable.
Yeah. It was like that. But that being said, as you predicted, the movie did start out with a fantastic action sequence of Poe Dameron showing off why Poe Dameron is Poe Dameron. That was amazing.
I'm telling you, they're all light sensitive. Not light sensitive. They're all force sensitive.
Yeah.
There's no way. I really can't. There's no way that Finn could handle a lightsaber against Kylo Ren, even for as little bit of his time he did. He's definitely not as strong as Rey is, and then Poe's whole background in the comics and stuff like that. Like, there's no way. I'm sorry. Sorry, not
Maybe.
sorry.
I don't know if they'll ever get to it though. I mean, they don't seem to be.
Well, they're clearly getting rid of the Jedi Order, so it doesn't really matter. So you can be force sensitive.
I know we're jumping all over the place, but
you had a plan to keep us on track.
I did, but it's out the window now because we're so just in awe of this. They really did a lot of house cleaning though. Like by the end of it, not only that obviously we lost Kay in the last movie, Luke is gone. And
the entire rebellion can fit on the Falcon.
Yeah, and the entire rebellion can fit on the Falcon, so they're down to like 30 people or so from a couple of hundred down to like a dozen. I mean, I think that last shot showed pretty much everybody on that ship. I mean, they're down to like the bare minimum, and then obviously when episode 9 comes out, it will be probably start with the funeral for Princess Organa. Like
they're gonna have to.
I
thought they were gonna.
They can't just the way they left this movie, like sort of with the tiny little rebellion.
Do you think Poe got his rank back? Speaking of, if she's gonna
Probably.
die and kick it before the next one,
I would say he'd probably be next in line. I would guess. I don't know what their military line of succession is. But...
Well, they had that whole scene of him trying to be hopeful, like he was gonna take command. Like, bro, you
guess,
got like 4 admirals here.
Me,
like,
it's not me. Okay,
no,
sorry.
No, sweetie, no, sit down, sit down. I love you, but no.
So, even though the First Order didn't accomplish their gigantic, huge, epic goal like they wanted to, they did a lot of damage over the course of the day. And I think that whole movie took place over the course of 3 days, maybe
3 or 4 days.
Because it was that chase. I mean, basically, it was the one space chase.
Yeah, because they had like 16 hours, 18 hours of fuel.
But it didn't feel fake. But one of my problems with episode 3 is that. Really? 3 days? My joke had been, so you have a coworker, you see him on Friday, everything's fine. Married, wife, with a kid on the way. It's
2
great.
kids.
You see him on Monday. Hey, how's your weekend go? Yeah, man, you wouldn't believe it.
I killed a bunch of younglings.
Killed a bunch of kids. Strangled my wife to death. All my other friends, my old bosses up. Yeah, threw them out a window. I mean, completely just betrayed everything.
Watched him get electrocuted by my new boss. Hey, I don't know if you knew that. I got a new boss. He electrocuted the crud out of Mace Windu. I don't know what happened.
So what'd you do? I binge watched Game of Thrones.
I rewatched The Office on
We have
Netflix.
very different lives, Anakin. So, but this was the same thing. This was like the Star Wars rule. It always takes place for a couple of days. I don't know why.
But it didn't feel rushed. Didn't feel forced. And
it also didn't feel long. Like for being the longest Star Wars movie, 2:45. I think I'll have to look up. But
I thought it was
close to 3 hours. It didn't really feel like a 3-hour movie. Benicio del Toro. I don't once again. I need to memorize all these new characters' names because we're gonna have to be like.
You're gonna put it up here though, where you usually do.
Right there. Throwing him out in casual conversation. He was. Do you think he sat down with Rian Johnson and said, "Yeah, I'll do your part, but I have to have a speech impediment."
Yes.
It was endearing, and he did a good job of it too. But I feel like he's one of those guys that needs to have something to hang it on.
And this guy was clearly hitting the spice a little hard, and or was going through withdrawals of spice.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah.
He needs to go back to Kessel and mine some spice himself.
Yeah. I thought Evil BB-8 would have a bigger role for all the merchandise.
I really wanted to see BB-8 throw down with Evil BB-8.
But
I was waiting for it.
No.
But BB-8 star Just gold star all
every
around,
time.
every time.
Man.
When he was taking the coins from the Space Scary, the Space Scary Fisher, and
is that what that was supposed to be?
That was what that was supposed to be. I didn't want to spoil it for you. Yeah,
okay. I knew that there was supposed to be a space.
I think I figured out that it looked
Gary,
like Space Scary to me. It looked like Space Scary to me. I could be wrong.
And then shot the coins back out.
But then shot the coins back out. And...
So some Jedi stuff. So we got a big flashback in various pieces of Ben's last day. I don't even know if we know the Jedi Training Academy.
Where he set up the academy.
Said what it was. We got to see like his perspective, and then we got to see Luke's perspective.
Are we going to talk about the best well-kept spoiler of all? Should we give another huge spoiler warning?
Super epic mega spoiler here.
If you don't mind little spoilers and are watching, cool.
That's fine. But if you're ever going to see this movie,
please don't do
not watch this part. Okay. Are you all gone? Okay.
Did you
are
hang
you
up?
ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still with us?
Did you kill the app?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yoda!
Oh my God! Yoda! Frank Oz, and they made the CG look just like the puppet with rubber lips.
I think they brought the puppet. I was thinking that because some of that looked straight puppet.
Oh my God!
Oh, so beautiful.
It was so good. It was just like just what Luke needed to hear. Yeah, just what Luke needed was Yoda to come back and say that was the the audience just gasped because the way he shot it, the way Ryan shot it is that Luke's going up this hill and the camera just pans by and there's Yoda's head.
It was just like his ears, just
it was
like
one of those things where it was like, and then it turned around and he starts talking and there's a whole scene of him and Yoda. Oh my God.
It was so brilliant.
It was so good.
I love how Luke couldn't bring himself to burn it, so he was like,
Force lightning, zap. I feel about Phasma the way people feel about Boba Fett. I think he's one of those like side characters that I think is totally awesome and could do. But rest in peace, Phasma. I don't believe you're dead. I'm gonna keep hope alive.
I'm just gonna keep making this face for a little bit.
I miss you, Phasma. And we got to see her eye.
I know. I was really hoping that the whole helmet was gonna come off.
I thought so too.
She's beautiful.
Should be all, of course.
Oh, I love her.
And tall girls, man. Tall girls make me crazy.
I'm feeling personally attacked right now.
Then there's that moment at the very end where Rey meets Poe and they goes, "Hi, I'm Poe," and I was like, "Oh, that's right."
I'm right.
These movies,
yeah, I know.
You two have never met. I went, "Oh, right, of course, yeah. You've been in totally separate storylines the entire time."
But my favorite was when he's like, "Yeah, hey, I'm Poe." She's like, "Oh, I'm Rey." He's like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah. Finn's talked about you a lot. Yeah.
Are we not going to talk about that cruel move from R2? That was also when I cried. When R2 shows classic Leia, the "Help Me Obi-Wan."
Cried. That was a power move. When it's like
jerk move. R2.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna do it.
No.
But it's still strange that like the Luke Skywalker we know, he never left the island. Like, that big thing at the end with the big feint, which was awesome. But it's one of those, like, twists. It wasn't really a twist because you had to have been paying attention. He shows up and sees everyone and talks to them all, and he looks like he did when he was back at the Jedi Academy. And it was like, oh, I guess he cleaned himself up.
More importantly, I was already questioning because he had his dad's lightsaber.
Yes, that too.
Which we already knew had been snapped
in half. Clue. And we all just went, okay. Just like Luke's back and he's swinging his lightsaber. This is going to be amazing, and he's fighting against.
I was questioning it. Great. I was questioning it. I was questioning it so hard because I love this continuity here.
I'm like, I guess he just took some time to put some
Just for men.
formula on the beard,
Yeah.
And then it turns out, oh no, he doesn't. He's projecting that. That
was an amazing feint.
That was pretty.
That
awesome.
was so good.
Yeah.
And I really liked the twin sunset.
Yeah,
with his binary sunset theme.
Standing there watching the twin sunset go down as he became one with the Force.
One with the Force. The Force is with me.
The last ride of Luke Skywalker. So Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia are all gone. Well, they become one with the Force. Now it's all the next generation and Anthony Daniels. And 3PO is still there. 3PO is still there.
And how old did we decide R2 is? He's at least 70, almost 80?
70, yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's the other question then. In the next one, will we even need R2? Will we even need 3PO?
No.
Because, we've got Kylo Ren is still there. Obviously, Hux is. I'm really surprised of all the people that died that Hux is still around. Hux gets beaten up a lot in this movie. I'm really surprised he made it out. But then so it's basically our new cast. They've pretty much taken over the movies.
Well, and
Star Wars.
I think what's hard is that they intended for Leia to be there.
Yeah.
In Episode 9 to finish the series off,
Yep.
and I think that I'm really interested to see how that plays.
Can Kylo Ren be redeemed? And then the second question, should he? Because they make a big deal of Rey seeing the good in him, seeing the conflict, and just because you're conflicted doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
I'm really conflicted.
Right? They're conflicted about it. Mm-hmm. But does that mean that he still killed his dad and a bunch of other people too? But I mean, Han Solo being the most important one because he
killed his dad, and he absolutely tried to kill his uncle.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Well, not again. I mean, the first time Luke totally deserved it.
Right. There's still a missing piece from that Jedi Academy thing, though. So, first of all, what happened when Luke was knocked out? That he woke
killed
up,
a bunch of younglings.
Dead. Yeah, and where are the other Knights of Ren? He did a rebellion with 10 other dudes. Where are the other dudes? If they were, did he? They never have said.
He said he was the ruler of the Knights of Ren. I assumed, and I know that doesn't get me very far, but I assumed that Snoke made him kill all of his Knights of Ren.
And where did Snoke come from? And how did he get into Kylo's head in order to turn Ben Solo into Kylo Ren? And now that Snoke is gone, I'm not going to say rest in peace Snoke because...
I'm not, because that was an epic
weird,
death.
stupid CG thing.
Yeah, but that was an epic death.
It was
fantastic.
Because
that fight scene was amazing.
That was amazing. It was a great. Rian Johnson really, really did a great job. Mm-hmm. I am so excited about his future trilogy that he's going to be doing too.
I'm really nervous about JJ coming back though for 9 after this.
Yeah, but from what I have read of what he said, he has sort of seen the light. He sort of
the lens flare light.
Yeah, the lens flare light. He saw what Rian Johnson did and kind of went, oh. And then he tends to. I love J.J. Abrams.
I do too. Yeah,
but he tends to be a hit and run guy. If you're interested in knowing the philosophy of J.J. Abrams, look up his TED Talk. Because his TED Talk was about the mystery box.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And the mystery box tells you everything you need to know about how JJ makes movies, which is he likes asking questions, he doesn't like answering them, which is why I'm terrified for episode 3. But he's already said a couple things about oh, I see what I would have done differently in episode 7, all these things that so I think that he's coming in, and I think the machinery was kind of in place. I think that the story is probably pretty well developed, and they had a blueprint that he's coming in, and he was producer on it, so obviously he knew. But I think the structure was already there that he'll do. So I'm tentatively excited, but also it's gonna be huge because it's at this point it's pretty much an open palette. I mean, besides Lando, there's what's left. Everything else is all new.
Oh my God, Lando! They're gonna bring Lando back.
Probably because he's the last one. Lando speaking at Leia's funeral.
Stop it! Stop it!
That would be so good.
No, Poe's gonna talk at her funeral.
Have a gray mustache.
Because Poe was the son she never got to continue to raise because.
I'm getting misty just thinking about his eulogy. She was fantastic.
Actually, Sai, what is your favorite part?
Oh, favorite part. Do you have one?
Yeah,
I was going to say because I was hoping you would have one that I could be thinking of one to do that.
I think
that space battle at the beginning was so badass. But I'll say that probably that's what you're thinking too, which is Poe and Rey. Kylo Ben and Rey back to back fighting the Praetorian Guards. It was so beautiful.
So great.
There's so much going on in that scene of after with.
And the last one when he gets the one in the face with
and it was another epic lightsaber fight that was totally different from the other ones. I mean, it wasn't Duel of the Fates. It wasn't Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader now. It's now you're okay, there's some heavy storytelling going on there, but whoa.
Perry 6, Perry 4.
And I'm glad that I know Mark Hamill in the past has complained about having the way he had to fight and like he always saying like that George always told him that they were very heavy and they had to have 2 hands on the lightsaber all the time, like samurai. And so then he watched the episodes 1, 2, and 3, and they're like, they're flipping in the air and throwing lightsabers around. Like, I wanted to do that. And like now, hey, he got to. He totally
got to. I'm so happy for Mark.
Yeah.
He's got to be so pleased with this.
Yeah. So that was my favorite scene in the movie.
That's
I think
your
it's just
favorite
the
scene?
two of
Okay.
there's because good stuff. And yours?
So it's probably not the one that you think.
I thought it would be that same one, so that's not the one.
Oh, I thought you thought it was going to be the first space battle with Poe, because you know how much I love him.
Yeah.
I think
he does that smuggler's turn at the end. Oh, so good.
That man. I really think it has to come down to one's going to be funny and one's going to be serious. Okay. So I have 2 favorite moments. Okay. So one moment totally has to be when Poe gets BB-8 back, and he starts like rubbing his son, like hugs him.
Oh, that was good.
It made me really happy.
Yeah.
So then my second one has to be when General Organa is talking to Poe about she needs him to see the big picture.
Yeah.
Because it
dropping
was
some knowledge on
it was dropping some knowledge, and you could see the character development in him of crap.
I gotta grow up now.
I gotta grow up now a little bit, but she's 100% legitimately right, because I did just cost a lot of people their lives, and I don't think Poe ever takes that lightly. But at the same time, he does not see the big picture. But then finishing with the permission to go get an X-Wing and blow something up. So I think both of those moments, are, oh God, in that fight with Phasma.
Oh yeah.
There's too many. I don't know if I can have just one favorite.
I wonder if the reason there's the little Phasma. Just a little bit of Phasma is because she was probably shooting Game of Thrones at the same time. They only could have her for a certain amount of time.
They could put a body double.
They could, and maybe for the fights they did.
And maybe have a dub.
I kind of wonder if they did that for Maz as well. Like Maz, I mean, obviously is like having her own exciting movie. Like she's like has a jetpack on and she's shooting dudes.
That was so awesome.
That was great. But I wonder if Lupita, right?
Yeah, Lupita.
If Lupita was shooting something else. I mean, she's an actress in demand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was shooting Black Panther.
No, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it would have been about the same time. They're only coming out within like a couple months of each other. So.
Pretty sure they were shooting Black Panther.
Yep.
Pause. How do you think Poe knows Maz? Because Poe was the one who called her.
Oh, that's a good question. No, was it? Or did Finn call her?
No.
I know somebody who can handle this, and then calls her.
No. It was totally Poe, because Poe kept being like, Maz, no, focus.
Interesting. There's a story to be told.
I wonder if it's in the comics.
Yeah, probably somebody will go, hey, they never actually
Let's retcon that.
Yeah. We'll fix that.
Anyways,
we'll fix it in the comic.
Sorry. Yeah. So, final thoughts. Please go see it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We don't need to tell anybody that.
If you're this far,
it was fantastic. Go if you're worried about it and you've gotten this far.
Don't be worried.
What's wrong with you, first of all? But go see it. Yeah, you don't have to worry. I'm curious to see what we have. We have a friend who. We have a friend who absolutely hated episode 7, so I'm curious to see if this one turns him around.
I don't think it will. I really don't think it will.
Probably not. People have
when they're set in their ways, they're set in their ways, and it makes me sad. I think he's wrong.
Yeah.
He's a great author, and I love him. But you're wrong.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. I love you, and you're wrong.
So thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And kudos to you for getting this far in the video. I just want to say,
I don't think anyone made it this far.
You people in particular who stuck it out. Bravo.
You're the spark of the rebellion.
And may the force be with you.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
No, that's different franchise.
Sorry.